It's FYF Sports Madness Lamont. We back with another video. Got some interesting stuff to talk about today. Obviously, free agency's been crazy. Players been moving around. Teams have been making moves. Some teams idle. Other teams a bit more active. You got some GMs really trying to improve their rosters. Others just can't. And today, y'all know who my favorite team is, Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazers have been making some subtle moves. Nothing major. Nothing that's going to make them world beaters. The Portland Trailblazers still have some major issues with that roster. The combination of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum will never work in the NBA. They will never win a championship with that backcourt. It's the worst defensive backcourt in the league. Both of them are ball dominant. None of the other guys on that team can really excel and play their roles because you got two players on that team who need and demand the ball to be great. And they don't give you anything on the defensive end of the court. So, that's just one of the flaws of the team. Now, if you're talking about them individually, yes, CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, great players. Great. Individually, they're great. Great personalities, great on and off the court, great for the Portland community. All right, and you can say the same thing about a lot of players on that team. But at the end of the day, the goal in the NBA is to win a championship. The goal is not just to be competitive. The goal is to win championships. And this team, as constructed, is not good enough to even be a top 3 seed in the West. Obviously, I'm hoping that they make some moves. It's going to be unfortunate. They're probably going to have to move a guy like CJ McCollum to bring in the pieces necessary to make them contenders. And they may have to make a few other moves off that. But with the moves that they made so far, Enes Kanter, you bring Enes Kanter back. You've had him before. Not really. I don't think that's a game-changing move. You do get Robert Covington. I love that move right there. Robert Covington is a very solid wing, a real big upgrade to Trevor Ariza. But again, it's not one of those moves that say, oh, they're the contender. They're the team that we have to look at. It brings in that supplemental defense to help CJ and Dame. But obviously, as we've seen, that they need a lot more help than that, especially if they're looking to beat teams like the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, and teams of that ilk. But they also re-signed Carmelo Anthony. They re-signed Carmelo Anthony in a move that really didn't surprise me. Obviously, there were rumors out there that Carmelo could potentially go back to New York, but when the season ended, when the bubble ended and the Blazers were eliminated from playoff contention, Carmelo Anthony made it known. He said, I would love to be back in Portland. It was no secret that he was potentially going to go back to Portland. Obviously, it looked before he signed with Portland, it looked as if he was almost out of the NBA. A lot of teams didn't want him. His style of play was considered to be a bit selfish. It really, if we're being honest about Carmelo Anthony's game, it really doesn't make any other players better. He can, at this stage in his career, he can only supplement what other players do. Being a mid-range scorer, being a catch and shoot scorer. He's not going to play make. He's not going to defend at a high level consistently. You still have to worry about his age and possible injury concerns. So, there's a lot that comes with Carmelo Anthony. I love the way he performed with the Blazers. But again, it's not one of those moves that say, look, we're running it back and we're going to be contenders to be in the finals. It's obvious that this move right here was just Carmelo wants to do what Carmelo wants to do. He said he just wants to hoop. He doesn't want to take a lesser role on another team. He wants to be put on the team where he can get the ball and showcase his skills. And it's just about going out and hooping. I honestly don't think it's about winning championships. But again, that's just my opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I was listening in to Ticket TV. I'm not for sure why, but I don't understand their particular love affair with Carmelo Anthony. Because there's a lot that you can criticize Carmelo Anthony for within his career where he's kind of shot himself in the foot. And we're going to be breaking all of that down later. But I just want you guys to hear this weird love affair obsession that these guys have with a guy like Carmelo Anthony. And some of the things that they say that are just completely asinine and false. And how they put him on this pedestal. They don't know nothing about the man. they have an extremely biased opinion about his career and game, and I think it's just extremely unfortunate. But hold on, let's just listen to it. It's again, you guys, cover your ears if you don't want to hear it. It's very borderline homosexual activity here. It's very borderline homosexual activity because these guys have a love affair with Carmelo Anthony that I've never seen. I mean, this is not a guy, this is not a Michael Jordan, a guy that carried the NBA. This is not a guy that was the face of the league. This is not a guy who you had posters of in your wall. All right, I don't even know if there's a signature Carmelo Anthony move. Where you could say you're trying to be like Melo, like Jordan had the signature fadeaway with the tongue out. All right, Curry with the crazy threes. LeBron with the windmill dunk. I just don't see the love affair. I don't know where their particular love affair for Carmelo Anthony stems from, other than the fact that he was supposed to be the counter to LeBron James when they both came into the league in 2003. You have Carmelo Anthony in the West. You have LeBron James in the East. Carmelo was supposed to be that polar opposite to LeBron. We were supposed to see these two go head to head for years and years on come, but unfortunately their careers took completely different turns. With LeBron James, 10 finals appearances, 4 championships, all types of MVPs, finals MVPs. Melo struggles to get out the first round. Is on bad team after bad team. Goes to the Knicks where they're perennial of bad teams. The years where they did have good teams, failure. So again, I don't understand how you have a player like Melo, but you find a way to praise him, but he's failed his whole career. There's nothing, there's nothing like everywhere he's been. There's always been a negative, either a negative annotation or some type of negative connotation connected to him from other players, just about his impact on winning. But let's listen to these guys again. A very odd love affair with Carmelo Anthony. We're gonna listen to it really briefly. Then we're gonna go to the drawing board to kind of break down Carmelo Anthony to see what's what and why his career took such a sharp downturn, why he was almost out the league, and why he's taking pennies on the dollar to play for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Off of TV too, you know what I'm saying? Probably we got the best content out here on basketball, and they be trying to, like I say, steal our content and block us from getting our shine. You understand what I'm saying? Man should have already been at 60, 70, 80, 90,000 subs. We already know what the deal is. When you talking about that real, they're gonna put handcuffs on you and throw you under the jail. That's what they try to do to us, but we too real for that. We gonna keep getting it to them and let y'all see the result.
Hey, too raw for TV. Watch my clout chasing one-on-one video. All right. Side note. Again, Go Mike, True the King, everybody out there, Hitman X. If you're looking to grow your YouTube channel, it's not about posting content hoping people watch it. It's about search engine optimization. Start studying how these algorithms work, how videos get exposed on YouTube, and how you can make your videos come to the forefront so that you can put your content in front of more eyes and therefore get more subscribers. All right, watch my clout chasing video, Clout Chasing 101. I give out all the jewels and I show you step by step how to increase viewership. You increase viewership, you increase your subscribers. That's a whole nother thing. So again, yeah, Too Raw for TV has a great platform. I respect this channel, but again, if you're looking to grow, like tickets at 50, 60, or whatever, where I don't know where tickets at, but I mean, even tickets kind of hit a wall, right? That's because once you narrow yourself, you isolate your content. Your content is all purely based on LeBron James and LeBron James hate, because even in this particular conversation right here, I know that it's eventually going to turn into LeBron James hate. You can tell by the way they're talking. If all your content's based towards LeBron James hate, you've now separated yourself from an entire fan base of real NBA fans that actually might like LeBron James or don't want to hear just hateful talk about LeBron. So that's one. Two, you're not doing anything outside of YouTube to increase your viewership. And if you are, you're not telling guys like Too Raw. Too Raw, I will tell you what it is. It's viewership. And I know Too Raw's older than me because there's a lot that I learned from him. But there's also a lot that those guys can also learn from even younger guys who understand things like marketability, your brand, your SEO, search engine optimization, embedding your videos on blogs, embedding your videos on Facebook, doing all that stuff right there. Again, you guys, my email is business@fyfsports.com. All you got to do is email me. I'll get you my private number. We can set up a Zoom call where we can talk about that. That's just a side note right there. So again, don't let people fool you with that fake banter about our content's so good, you should be here or there. No, it actually takes work outside of just posting videos. It's hard enough, and it's hard. It's hard enough just posting videos. It's hard to just post videos. That's the hard part. But a lot of people try to just post videos and go nowhere. But it's even harder to post videos and then invest in your channel. I mean, this talks about spending hundreds and thousands of dollars investing in your channel so you can buy your own domain, so you can buy your own blog page, so you can buy your own backlinks, so you can create more exposure for your own channel. Come on, start thinking right here. Start thinking outside the box. Don't think like these 90s dudes right here. Thinking like these 90s dudes right here is going to keep you broke. If you want to be broke, if you want to limit yourself, if you want to limit your content, continue to think like Ticket. Box yourself in. Box yourself in, and you can think 100,000 is a lot of money. You can think 200,000 is a lot of money. You box yourself in like that, you're gonna have a secular. You're gonna have secular content that's only for a small group of people, and you're never gonna be able to grow. All right, because you thinking small, think big. You want to grow your platform. Learn about search engine optimization.
You seen that? I actually heard it personally, man. I heard some networks, they be saying the same lingo. I was like, wait a minute, this actually is true.
Too Raw already said it in one of his videos a while back. Go back and listen to one of his videos. He said they be stealing our content. Then what they do is they steal our content, don't give us no credit, and then try to cut out our views, and then try to come take our lane and shit, man. Come on, man. That shit whack, man. We peep what they was doing, but we are the street. You know what I'm saying? So if you listen to me, if you sub to me, make sure you sub to Too Raw for TV, man. Cause that's the brother right there. Hey, Keith McGee, what you got on this, homie?
Hey man, what's salute to the panel, salute to everybody. Hey Ticket, I've been listening to you for about 4 years, bro. It's the first time I got on. But anyway, hey, Melo going back to the Blazers, that's some good shit. That's loyalty. That's all day long. That guy pushed his neck out for him. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna stay with it." No doubt. I love that shit.
Thanks, bro. And that teaches a lesson to all these dudes who want to cut and run and don't want to be loyal to their teammates and don't want to be loyal to the dudes that surround them, that's helping putting them on and stuff like that. And that's doing all these great things to help these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Just stay relevant in the game, man. Bro, listen, man. It's loyalty over everything, bro. Money come and go, man. But the loyalty and the love will shall remain, bro. And for me,
Odd Ticket TV speaking on loyalty. Maybe that's a conversation you need to have with CJ and True the King and all the loyal subscribers that you blocked for no reason. That's if loyalty's all right. The loyalty thing just kind of blew my mind because loyalty and Carmelo Anthony don't go together. Loyalty and Ticket TV don't go together. There's no loyalty there, none at all. That's the funny thing right there. So the one thing that we know going forward, after he states that right there, the one thing that he know going forward is everything else that he's about to say about, or the panel, if they agree, is about to be complete bullshit. Because, man, the man just said loyalty is everything. But, you know, we all know the situation that went on. That zero loyalty, you know, so it's just funny that came up. But, you know, this love affair again with Carmelo Anthony is very odd. You know, these guys talk about he was loyal to his own team. No, how can a role player be loyal? Role players in the NBA, there's no such thing as loyalty, right? What these guys are out to do, he's clearly came out and stated that he just wants to hoop. He doesn't want to take a lesser role. All right, that's what he wants to do. You know, he's had teammates. Carmelo Anthony's had teammates come out and say that he's all about his numbers. I mean, a trusted guy like Chauncey Billups. When Chauncey Billups comes out and said this guy cares more about his numbers than he does about actually winning, says that after games if we won and Carmelo only had 18 points, he'd be down and out because he scored 18 points. He wouldn't be happy that the team won. That's a loyal guy. But if he scores 30 and we lose, he's up, he's upbeat, he's happy, even though they lost the game. That sounds like a loyal guy, but you got very credible people. A guy like Chauncey Billups, Marcus Camby. You got very credible people that have been highly critical of Carmelo Anthony and his ability to be a winner in this league. But none of that gets calculated into this. On top of the fact that we've seen him fail multiple times. Not just fail multiple times, fail on multiple teams. When he had a great team in Denver with Allen Iverson, Marcus Camby, Chauncey Billups, J.R. Smith, you failed. All right? And I don't want to hear that about Iverson being old. He wasn't old. He was averaging 26 points a game. He was still Allen Iverson. And you failed. You were in a winning situation. You were with a good coach in George Karl. And you request a trade to the Knicks. I don't know. Let's just hear a little bit more what they got to say. Again, you hear where it's going. It's going down that lane of just an odd, awkward love affair that absolutely makes no sense. Because when you fall in love with a player to this degree, you can no longer be honest. You can no longer have honest reporting, because Carmelo Anthony is no longer the super. Since 2015, he's not been Carmelo Anthony. It's been 5 years since we've seen the real Carmelo Anthony, or the player that could actually lead a team and be that number one or number two guy that leads you. All right, he already struggled with that even in his prime. Now he's on the tail end of his career, maybe going into one of the last years he may have in the NBA, and you're talking about him being loyal to a team as if he's not going to be the power dynamic that makes a team go from a contender to a champion. That's not Carmelo Anthony's not doing it. If Carmelo Anthony joins the Lakers, he's not going to be the guy that makes the difference between them winning the championship or not. He doesn't do that. He's going to be a guy coming off the bench, giving you 10 to 15 points off the bench like a role player. That's exactly what he is right now. He's a guy that can be a great role player. He's not going to be your best scorer. He's not going to be your best defender. He's not going to be your best anything. He's just a good role player right now in his career. There's no shame in saying that because he had a great NBA career. But let's just be honest about where his game is right now. That's what he is going to be with Portland. As of right now, he's probably the fifth option on offense. He's going to be a scoring option behind Rodney Hood. He's going to be a scoring option behind Covington. He's going to be a scoring option behind Nurkic. He's going to be a scoring option behind CJ and Dame. Why are we talking as if this move was about loyalty? Teams weren't hammering down his door saying, we want to sign him. We want to give him all of this money. And nobody knows what type of money New York offered him. And we don't even know if New York was considering him. We don't even know that, because New York never came out and said anything to that effect. It was only people like in this panel that made that connotation or made that connection. Oh, he can go back to New York because New York doesn't have anybody. No real basketball heads were out there saying that Carmelo Anthony's going to New York. There were only rumors and innuendo, nothing based in fact. And we know that the Knicks are being extremely cheap right now because they didn't even want to trade for Russell Westbrook, a guy that averaged 27, 7, and 7. They didn't even want to trade for him. Why the hell would they give money to Carmelo Anthony? They didn't even want to pay. They didn't even want to pay Bobby Portis. They didn't want to pay Elfrid Payton. They made him re-sign for $5 million. And he was one of their best players last year. They're being extremely thrifty right now. So why would they spend money to bring Carmelo Anthony back? Portland Trail Blazers was his only option. He re-signed with them because they both needed each other. Portland needs a wing that can score. Carmelo Anthony needs a team that's going to allow him to play one-on-one basketball. That works out perfectly. What other teams actually really need that? All right. It didn't work in Houston. That style of play didn't work in Houston. He couldn't be the man behind Chris Paul and James Harden. He couldn't be the man there. He couldn't be the man in OKC behind Russ and PG. He's not that type of guy. Come on, man. Let's stop with the noise, man. Come on, stop with the noise about Carmelo Anthony. Let's hear a little bit more of this complete buffoonery, or this, like I said, it's like a homophobic type love for Carmelo Anthony that's just completely odd. And again, if any of you guys on this panel right here really want to discuss this, when we go live every day, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, man. If you guys have or feel any type of way about my opinion on Carmelo Anthony, feel free to come in and take the live debate head to head. If you can win this debate head to head, that's a $100 cash app to you. Again, we reward you if you can actually come in and make a solid argument. If you can make a solid argument and you can debunk me, please come to FYF Sports and please try to do so if you disagree with my take on Carmelo Anthony. I don't think there are going to be any takers. We all know that. But let's go ahead and hear what they got to say here.
The biggest thing that I can see, man, is that Carmelo Anthony, bro, he really got true love and true appreciation for Dame Dollar. So shout out to the brother, Jashad Williams in the Cash App. Salute to you, and shout out to my boy Jacob Jennings in the Big Bang Cash App. He said, "Hell of a friend, great player in Ticket TV." He said, my king, hey, no doubt, homie, you already know what it is, my G. That's what it is, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, bro. I respect dudes like this. That dude that just came in the channel and said he ain't never gonna win a ring, man, your mama ain't never gonna win a ring. You know what I'm saying? That's why your daddy left her at the altar, nigga. Now, hey, Spin, what you got, dog?
Absolutely sad right there. See, again, when you have limited basketball knowledge, somebody came into the chat and made a very viable basketball argument. Carmelo Anthony's never going to win a ring. That's a very true statement. One, he hasn't won a ring. Two, he hasn't came close to winning a ring. Three, he's never been in an NBA final. Four, he's never led a team well enough to make them a finals contender. I mean, he's shown that he only wants to play for the money. All right? That's facts. This is why he went to New York. This is why he stayed in New York. This is why he didn't want to go play with LeBron James in the Miami Heat. You know, everybody want to say get it out the mud. No, well, he was just getting it out the bag. He was just getting his bag. That's all he was doing. And he chose to stay with a team. When you handicap your team, taking all that money, which I don't knock you for that. Take as much money as you can get. It's the team's responsibility. It's the team's responsibility to get better. But when you take all that money and you handicap them, and they can only put a whole bunch of role players around you, I don't know what you expect. So it doesn't surprise me he doesn't have any championships. One, he's just not made of that cloth. He's not a championship type of player. And there are a lot of people that are going to say, oh, he led Syracuse to the championship. Yeah, if you look at that Syracuse team was loaded with 5-star recruits. So it wasn't just Carmelo Anthony. Although Carmelo Anthony was that piece that pushed him over the edge. He was definitely that piece that pushed him over the edge. But I'm not going to act like there was a team full of slouches. He carried some bums to the NCAA championship. That team was loaded. Loaded with 5-star players, loaded with great talent. So, again, that's what it takes. And again, even if you look back on how he won in college, he never did it by himself. That team won. He was able to excel and be the best player on that team, and they won the championship. But understandably so, that Jim Boeheim was not going to put a whole bunch of bums around him and say, we're going to win this NCAA championship out the mud like you guys would want him to do. He said, no, you're a great player. We're also going to surround you with other great players so we can win a championship. That's the purpose of even playing the game. Carmelo had a great team in Denver. He botched it. They couldn't get it done. All right. Even in New York, when they got a halfway decent team, what did they do? They choked against the Indiana Pacers. I mean, he's at that stage in his career where he's on the tail end of his career. There's nothing that he's playing for right now. There's nothing that Carmelo can play for right now other than championships. And the only way he can get championships right now is to join a contending team. Portland is not a contending team. And Carmelo Anthony, his days of being that guy, that maybe could get you to a finals is over. He couldn't even get a team to the finals in his prime. What makes you think he can get a team to the finals now? He's at the end of his career. Y'all talk about get it out the mud. All right. He forces a trade from Denver. Carmelo Anthony forces a trade from Denver, as opposed to waiting until the summer. As opposed to waiting a few months till the summer hits and then just signing with New York as a free agent. He forces a trade to New York at the trade deadline. New York has to trade their entire starting lineup just to get him over there. Now Carmelo Anthony is playing with a team loaded with bums. So he starts his tenure off in New York on a team that's trash. Now they have to build from the ground up because they had to trade everybody that they had. Danilo Gallinari, Raymond Felton, and all those guys. They literally had to trade everybody they had just to get him. Now they have to build up from the ground again. And when they do build up from the ground again, they don't get it done. Right? And when he sees that the Knicks front office is trash at their job, you saw in our last video, we talked about how bad the Knicks were. When he sees that the Knicks front office is not doing their job, they're not bringing in the right players, instead of leaving to go get with a team that's actually doing it the right way, he decides to stay in a losing situation where the Knicks are losers for a number of years on after. It wasn't only until after that when Phil Jackson became a GM, then forced Carmelo Anthony out via trade. We talk about loyalty. How many teams has he been on? How many teams has he been on? He wasn't willing to accept his role. All right, even when he was the third or fourth best player. All right, Portland's my team. Are they going to be competitive next year in the West? Is Portland? Are they even as good as they were last year? I mean, when one injury can handicap one injury turned them into a lottery team. And if it wasn't for the pandemic and they got all of their guys back, they wouldn't have been competitive. They would have been right in a lottery with a lot of other teams. With Carmelo Anthony on that roster. Come on, y'all. We guys got to get realistic. Stop falling in love with players. Or at least stop falling in love with players just because somebody else is in love with them. Again, that's his borderline. Is borderline homosexual type of love fest that you got for this guy. He's a great player. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You cannot take away what he did from 2003 to 2015. All right, but if we're going to be realistic about his game, let's not lie about it. And let's not say he's doing it out of loyalty. He's not staying with Portland because he's loyal to them. He's staying with Portland because there ain't no other teams that want him. And again, if I'm wrong about that, go find any report of another team that says they were looking to sign a Carmelo Anthony. Please, somebody come into our live chat and show me a report that another team that said that Carmelo Anthony was number one on their free agency list. That we're going after this free agent. What team was going after him? The Bucks weren't going after him. Bucks could have used more scoring. They weren't going after him. A lot of teams could have used more scoring. Warriors definitely could have used the Carmelo Anthony on, especially coming off that bench to give him some firepower. Nope. No noise from the Warriors. What teams are y'all talking about? Like, what do you mean loyal to? He's loyal to who? What teams were out there trying to pluck him from the Blazers that gave him some great sense of loyalty to stay? What teams offered him this massive amount of money that he turned down and took the minimum just to stay? Again, it gets, like I said, when you start having, when you start to lie, you start making up stuff to make your case for him. I think again, that's behavior that's beta male type behavior. It's very sad, man. Very sad. Very sad, man. This Carmelo Anthony situation. This is getting out of hand with Carmelo Anthony, y'all. And this is not shade to Carmelo Anthony, but this man ain't won nothing in his career, y'all. Even when he's had great players around him, he is not a winner. He is not a winner, y'all. There's nothing wrong with that. He's still been a great player, one of the greatest scorers that we'll ever see in NBA history. He's not a winner, though. And there's nothing. You can't use the phrase "get it out the mud" and winner in this. And getting it out the mud in its true sense and winning go hand in hand together. Because to get it out the mud, that means you got out the mud. You got it out the mud and you actually achieved something. What has Carmelo Anthony achieved? He hasn't achieved nothing. It's sad, man. It's just weird. Like I say, the love affair that we have with this guy is just awkward and weird. Because you talk about him as if we talk about him as if when he retires, we're gonna put him in our top 10. It's sad. It's sad. But yeah, we're not even gonna go to the drawing board for this one. I don't think there's much to discuss. Not much to discuss with this particular situation right here. Again, a great signing for a role player. Again, Carmelo Anthony at this stage in his career is a role player. He's not the number one. He's not the number two. He's not even the number 3 guy on this team. He's gonna come in. He's gonna do his job. He's gonna score the ball when needed. He's gonna be streaky. He's 36, going on 37 years old. He's not built like a LeBron James. He doesn't have the work ethic like LeBron James. He can't lead a team like a LeBron James. That being said, his role is different. He's relegated to being the fourth or fifth option on a Portland Trailblazer team that has been kind of, I think they've been very disappointing in free agency. I thought they was going to be able to land one of these second tier type players like a Gordon Hayward, which would have been a great fit. Although they're kind of salary cap strong with CJ and Dame, I honestly thought that they would finally come to the realization that CJ or Dame has to go. More specifically CJ, to make that roster better. Unfortunately, it just doesn't look like they're going to be making those moves. So the Portland Trailblazers are who they are as of right now. They're still my team. I'm still going to love and appreciate watching their games. I respect the Carmelo Anthony signing, but I'm not going to be one of those that's just going to go and glorify Carmelo Anthony as this, ultimate basketball figurehead who's done things the right way his whole career, when he's actually done a lot of things the wrong way. And this is, if you're a young basketball player, if you're looking to better your game, if you're looking to advance yourself as a pro, this is not the style of basketball, especially in this particular day and age now, where the game is more so predicated on moving the ball and playmaking. You don't want to mirror your game after a player who's primarily a mid-range threat that doesn't play defense. You don't want to model your game after that. You find ways to expand your game, find ways to expand your range, find ways to get better, find ways to maintain your fitness, something that Carmelo Anthony struggled with, and then you'll be solid. But again, I want you guys to let me know what you think. What do you think about the Carmelo Anthony signing? What do you think about this love affair that surrounds Carmelo Anthony? I mean, we all see it. We see it on a day in and day out basis. People who, for whatever reason, glorify him. Whether it's you're from the same city he lives in, whether he played for a team that you used to cheer for. What is this unnatural love affair by grown men with Carmelo Anthony, a guy who's given them absolutely no reason at all to look up to this man? He's not a winner. He hasn't played like a winner. He doesn't have a winning mindset. Kind of a bit selfish, and it's even been called out by Hall of Famers like Chauncey Billups because of it. Let me know what you think. FYF Sports, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to the video. Just had to drop this real quick, just to kind of expose some people on this, again, very awkward, homosexual-like love affair for Carmelo Anthony. And again, nothing wrong with that. I got nothing against homosexuals. If you want to have that type of love affair with Carmelo Anthony, that's your preference. If you like it, I love it. But again, it's not. It's just a biased opinion. It's a biased opinion. It's not factual. And it's not basketball. Hey, research. Do you for research purposes only? We had to research this FYF debates for a reason. If you say something stupid, we are here to debunk you. Hey, it's FYF Sports, man. It's been a great video.
Oh, you gangsters think you tough, knowing you ain't bout that life. Okay, now we call your bluff. It's time that you pay the price. Oh, you scared, huh? Police bout to read them rights. I don't wanna go to jail, man. Might not get no bail, man. You gangsters think you tough until them rollers pull them cuffs. Okay, now we call your bluff. You just be talking all that stuff. Oh, you a big dog, huh? Cut it out, boy, not even close. I don't wanna go to jail, man. I'm broke, can't get no bail, man. you funny, you a trip. Talking nonsense out your lips. Neighbors, they complaining. Tell you calm it down a bit. Now you Mr. Tough Guy. Like, fuck all that shit. Until them blues come knocking, now you sounding like a bitch. Oh, you gangsters think you tough, knowing you ain't bout that life. Okay, now we call your bluff. It's time that you pay the price. Oh, you scared, huh? Police bout to read them rights. I don't wanna go to jail, man. Might not get no bail, man. Gangsters think you tough until them rollers pull them cuffs. Okay, now we call your bluff. You just be talking all that stuff. Oh, you a big dog, huh? Cut it out, boy, not even close. I don't wanna go to jail, man. I'm broke, can't get no bail, man.
Oh man, hey, that's enough for LB for the. Hey, that's enough for LB for the day, man.